Okay, everybody, I wanted to show you guys how Renee and I are going to repipe this ranch on the slab with polybutylene pipe. So as you guys know, all the polybutylene is going to come up from under the slab. There's the ice maker. Here's hot and cold and water service, catching some labs back on the other side of the wall, and it pipes through and gets the stop and the PRV, and we'll go look at that in a second. And it comes down the wall and catches the washing machine and the water heater. And here's where we're going to drop down out of the ceiling. We pull solid runs through the ceiling, so there's no fittings in the attic whatsoever. And we'll step around in here. There is one of the spigots out back. This is the master. And you can see up there, there's no way to drop down in that wall. And there's no way to drop down in that wall. And that is where the pipe comes up to catch the tub and the shower right there. So this is how we are going to catch that. We brought it on that little shelf and dropped down in the closet wall. There's the master toilet. And there's where the service comes through and catches the stop and the PRV. So there is that. Come through in here. You're going to drop down right there to catch the kitchen. Right there. And here's this bathroom. There is another spigot. And here's where we're going to drop down out of the attic to catch this bathroom. And there is where the pipe comes up out of the slab. Okay, today we're going to try to get some of this laundry room done and work on repiping that heater. And before we repipe that heater, we're going to go out here and power the heater down. So we're just going to flip that breaker off. And then we're going to go back in here, and I wanted to share a couple things with you guys. Tips to avoid. And one of those things is try, if you can, to avoid using plastic female adapters onto metal. That definitely will create stress cracks in the future. And this heater does not have a thermal expansion tank. And another curious thing is, why is there a bypass built into here? So if anybody can answer that question and leave that in the comments, that would be really cool, you guys. Okay, you guys, I wanted to go over a few more tips with you and really share with you why we really open up these walls like this, so we can get everything strapped down. Here's what happened in the laundry room. Here's the finished product with the water heater. And I want to show you guys these nails as a perfect example of why we open these walls up and get everything strapped down where we can actually see what we're doing. Instead of a lot of shops that do this, will go and cut a little tiny hole in the bottom of the wall like that, and then they'll cut a hole up there, and then they will fish a piece of pipe in the wall from hole to hole, and they really don't know what's in the wall. So we're going to go back in here and look at this nail again. So if you have that pipe in the wall and it's rubbing against that nail and you have no idea that's happening, over time you are definitely going to get a hole rubbed in the line. And not to mention the fact that if you do things like that, when water runs through there and nothing's strapped in the wall, you're going to hear that. Okay, the next thing we're going to take a look at is where these lines go up in the frame, the plate right there. And I just want to try to get up into the attic as quickly as we can to share with you guys why I want you to be super careful when you drill those holes. Let's see if we can get up here. Have to watch our step. Okay. This is the place where the lines come up. And if you look right back here behind that, there's a huge bundle of wire right there. I came up here and moved all that out of the way and just kind of looked around at what was going on. But if you just stick your drill up there and just drill straight up through the frame, not aware of what's above you, and you hit a bundle of wire like that, needless to say, you're gonna have some really bad problems. So just you know, be very careful when you're running that drill up and down into the attic. All right, guys, here we are in the master. We're probably maybe halfway through of getting things done in here. And I just wanted to share a few things with you in here that are really important. And as you see, we have all of the valves completely removed. There's the old valve that was in there for the shower. There is the old valve that was in there for the garden tub. And we take these out because if you look right there, trying to get that little piece of pipe and that ring off of that valve, it's just not worth it to try that, and then you're still going to end up with a 20 or 30-year-old valve in there. So while everything's apart, we just go ahead and get it all removed and completely replaced, and that's going to be the new Delta stuff in there. That's, you know, the new Delta shower valve. That new valve is probably not going to fit through that little hole, so you will also need to be mentally prepared to do some work with the fiberglass. And also the emergency stops. As you can see, we take those out and take the supply lines all the way out and completely replace those also. So there's literally nothing left whatsoever of the poly. Okay, guys, I also do want to say, when you're doing work like this, you are going to definitely find lots of little surprises. And this is a pretty good example of one of them. Here's the shower head in here. Let me see. Take that whole head and move it around. It's missing a screw out of the drop air 90 right there. And we're gonna have to get in here and get that addressed. I wanted to show you guys the ice maker box, what's gonna happen in here. You can see where the poly's coming up from below, and you can also see this. We're gonna go ahead and take care of those little problems as we go along. So when I get this tied back together, I'll try to shoot a little more footage and let you see the difference. So this will be the ice maker box in its completed state. You can see it's framed in all the way around, and we've got a little suspension bracket or clamp right there, so you can't take it and move it around the way that it was. And while we're on the subject of moving things around, we'll talk about these spigots. They were kind of framed in the same way with a little piece of a board, not really attached to anything. So what we did was put a piece of backing in there and drill a little hole through it. That way the two screws on the outside where the flange is has something to actually catch into. And we've got a strap right there. So that's, you're not gonna be able to move those spigots. And the reason that is important is because people have their garden hose attached to those, and if they want to pull that hose a few extra feet to get around the car to wash it or water down that azalea, and they go to yank the hose, they will yank the spigot right out of the wall and sometimes even break them off. We do get that call at least 2 or 3 times a year. So when you have the wall open, go ahead and really get that thing good and secure. And I also wanted to get on video this for you guys, how we're gonna, get this back spigot strapped down and insulated really, really well before we cover it up, being it is on an outside wall. You definitely don't want to leave that pipe just exposed on an outside wall. Just get you some insulation around there and get it strapped down really well, and you'll be good to go. I did want to show you guys how to make something a little easy for yourself to get rid of the dishwasher line that was poly. So there's the old line, and I just put a little compression coupling right there and tied the new line to it. As you can see, it can be kind of tight under there. So when I pull that old line out from the cabinet, it's going to pull the new line with it and hopefully avoid some aggravation trying to get that new line fished back in behind all that mechanical stuff in there. Okay, you guys, I think we have that where you can see it, so I'm going to pull this and we'll see how this is going to work out for us. Might be a little tight getting that coupling through the hole. There we go. So there's the new piece. Yeah, I think you can see that the new line is coiled up back there, but hopefully we can reach back behind the pump and get that pulled through. Yeah, there we go. So there we go, ready to tie it back up to the dishwasher 90 right there, and that worked out pretty good. Here is another really important detail. See right there where that pipe passes through in the front of the stud. You definitely always want to make sure that you put a stud guard right there, because when you put that drywall back and you either screw through that pipe or nail through it, as you can see, that would be pretty difficult to repair that and super disappointing and aggravating. So always make sure that you put your stud guards on. All right, guys, here we are on the last of this project, about to wrap this up. And I just want to show you guys, this is where the service comes in the corner of the garage. And we always come through the hole with soft copper. And then, we've got a new ProPress ball valve and a PRV right there. And then that service goes up into the ceiling. So we're gonna walk in here. There's the ice maker that we've talked about. A new washing machine box with hammer arrestors on the valves. There is the shut off to the back spigot, which is right back there. And ball valve, thermal expansion tank, copper leading into the heater. Two lines going across for the lavs. I did this way because there's a 3-inch vent in the wall. So we cut across right there to get to this other lav. There's the kitchen. Still do have a little strapping to do and put the drywall back in its place. There's a front spigot. And then there's the other bathroom. So in here, new tub and shower valve and new trim. And we put all new stops and supply lines on everything. And here is new stops and supply lines for the lav. There is the new valve for the shower. There's the tub valve. That's how it's all piped up under there, and we shot through the cavity of the tub right there and came down in that wall. And there is the ball valve for the spigot near the garage, and that grill right there is going to go back right there, so she'll be able to pull that grill off and reach through to get to that valve if she ever needs to.
We hope that you found this whole house repipe video very helpful and informative in case you need to have your polybutylene replaced. If you did, please give us a thumbs up, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching.